and you can see that that last note, probably one of the more recognizable parts of our show, is the death of Phrygia, and that basically spurs on a rebellion and a revolt, and it starts a battle between the slaves and the Romans. The Romans were represented mainly by the uniformed horn line. The slaves were the color guard, and the percussion were mainly part of the Roman Empire, but they actually filled many purposes. This next part of the show that we went into was there's a couple of parts to this next production, the fourth movement. The first one is the battle, all right, and it's basically a battle between Spartacus is enraged, and he gathers his slaves together, and they battle the Roman Empire. And it's a pretty dramatic moment. I mean, to write this and to come up with this, I think it was really a little bit fascinating. To me, I was trying to figure out how we could represent this battle, and I remember thinking about that scene in Braveheart. If you remember the scene where they're all lined up across the field and they all run at each other, and then when they run at each other, there's this cacophony of sound and like spears hitting each other and swords hitting each other. And I think we're trying to represent that a little bit. I can show you exactly sort of where that is in the music, but it actually makes sense to from a design standpoint, what's happening. It's not just random rhythms and drumming, and everything's kind of for a reason. So we're gonna, first of all, we'll kind of talk about a couple of the instruments. The marching machines, I think, were really effective on the field. And you know what, with the amplification of the front ensemble, I think the marching machines were terrific because we didn't have to amplify them all, but they sounded amplified. We built these boxes. Zach, can you, everyone can see the actual, the case that the marching machines went into was actually the amplifying box that they hit. So can you give us a couple of steps there? So it projects like crazy. Out in the field, I was always impressed with how far that sound traveled. Even if you recall, even in one of the main hits of the show, where the entire corps is playing, the marching machines came in, and I could always hear it. I thought that was really well done. The other thing that we probably should show is the sound effect to the sword. We had a lot of variations on this one, and we got a little bit more graphic with the sound of it. But I was in my garage one day, and I was in the garage one day and just experimenting. We were like getting to that point where the staff and basically were saying, "Look, we need a sound for this to happen," and the thinness of a garden hoe against this metal pipe. It sounds like nothing right here, right now, but under amplification, under Mix Master Mark Teal, he could actually, at that moment, really crank up the sound effect, and it would sound exactly like the metal of swords hitting together and all that. So we used amplification not only to amplify the keyboards, but to create audibility to the sound effects as well. All right, so this basically, let's set the stage for this. So the Phrygia is killed, right? She falls to the ground. Spartacus is angry. Let's start with the heartbeat of her heartbeat, and if you notice, her heartbeat slowly comes to a stop, and then the battle is ensuing. The Roman Empire is gathering together, and then they are marching against each other. So let's stop. All the way until Tyler's quarter notes. Don't play that. Let's go up to that point.